The holidays, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, guitar routine interrupter there is. And the holidays are coming whether we like it or not, so a plan to keep your guitar routine regular is certainly in order. Well, today we're going to look at 5 ways your guitar routine could be derailed by the holidays and what to do when those things happen. Hey TAC family, welcome to episode 212 of the Acoustic Tuesday show. This show's all about bringing fun, focus, and progress to your guitar journey through my weekly Guitar Geek list, plus success stories from your fellow TAC family members. Speaking of the holidays, TAC family member Dirk almost gave up playing the guitar after being on vacation for quite some time. Later on in today's show, you'll find out exactly how long Dirk was without a guitar and what he did to get his guitar routine back on track. Plus, you're going to get a sneak peek at what guitar lick the TAC fam is working on this week. In fact, it's a fingerstyle blues lick in the key of E. It's really cool, and it's coming up. And of course, your weekly dose of acoustic news awaits you, which includes Guitar Geek Legos, a human skull guitar, and so much more. But first, let's go ahead and create a guitar routine damage control plan for the holidays. The holidays are upon us, and with them come a laundry list of reasons why it's near impossible to maintain your guitar routine. Well, I am here today to help you maintain your guitar routine through one of the busiest times of the year, when distraction and time challenges are at their peak. Here are 5 common holiday scenarios and what you can do instead to keep yourself on track through the end of the year. Holiday scenario number 1. The family invasion. Family comes to town and your guitar playing time gets pinched, or worst case scenario, extinguished. It might look somewhat Griswoldian like this.
Folks, Merry Christmas.
The solution to the family invasion is to involve your family in your guitar journey, especially if there are young kids around, because you can teach them their first couple notes or their first couple chords on the guitar. It keeps you playing, it helps you develop a deeper understanding of the instrument, and it could create a unique bond between yourself and your family. Scenario number 2, travel. Whether it's a plane, a train, or an automobile, travel can happen during the holidays and it can interrupt your guitar routine. It might even look like this.
You ever traveled by bus before? Your mood's probably not going to improve much.
The travel interruption solution is actually a pretty fun one. You can bring a guitar along on your travels, you can rent a guitar at your destination, or you can get yourself an early present this year and buy a new guitar. You can also bring along a ukulele or a smaller instrument that will allow you to keep in playing shape and maintain your playing routine. Okay, holiday scenario number 3 is the time crunch. Yes, with the holidays comes a massive time crunch because of those, well, holiday responsibilities. You might have to cook, you might have to clean, you might have to go shopping, you might have to decorate the house, and it might not go as smoothly as you want it to, kind of like this.
Damn it.
The time crunch solution is to focus on small windows of guitar playing time and to celebrate small wins when they happen during those abbreviated playing sessions. Even if you just have 10 minutes to sit down and work on something, whether it be a new chord or maybe just a simple technique challenge, that's a small win. The fact that you showed up for 10 minutes, that's a small win, especially during this crazy busy time. So it's okay if you have to flex your guitar routine. In fact, I would much rather you flex your guitar routine and adjust it to your busy schedule than completely bag it altogether. Okay, holiday scenario number 4 is that you don't have a guitar. You don't have a guitar where you're going, maybe you don't have a guitar at home, and there's a slim chance that you'll actually be able to get a guitar. So what do? Well, you could take a cue from Bill and Ted.
Excellent!
The no guitar solution is actually an extremely beneficial one for your guitar journey. See, not having a guitar allows you to shift your focus from playing the guitar to appreciating the guitar. So you can listen to new guitar-centric music. Maybe you find a new artist or a new genre that you really dig. You can start visualizing patterns on the fretboard that you can then play when you get a guitar in your hands again. Or you can dive into the theoretical end of playing the guitar. Sink into some music theory and start understanding the why behind what you're doing on the instrument. So not having a guitar can actually provide some pretty immense growth opportunities. Okay, the final holiday scenario is that you lack inspiration. Put simply, you're just burned out, much like Pete in Office Space.
I generally come in at least 15 minutes late. I use the side door, that way Lumberg can't see me. And after that, I just sort of space out for about an hour. Till I'm
Space out?
Yeah, I just stare at my desk. But it looks like I'm working. I do that for probably another hour after lunch, too. I'd say in a given week, I probably only do about 15 minutes of real, actual work.
The burnout solution is one that is easy. Now, that doesn't mean it's simple to do. The burnout solution is to simply say, you know what, this is a bump in the road. And when the dust settles, I'm gonna hop right back on the horse and get into my guitar routine again. A pro tip here is to set a date on the calendar. Go ahead and look at a calendar and say, okay, I'm busy for the next 2 weeks, but come this certain date, right on your calendar, play guitar. This way you have something to look forward to and you know that you've done something to pull yourself right back on track. So those are the 5 common holiday scenarios that could interrupt your guitar routine and, of course, what you can do instead. Now in the comments below, I want to know what's something that has threatened your guitar routine in the past and what did you do to circumvent that interruption? It's Tuesday TAC Guitar Lick Challenge time. Yes, indeed, I've got a fingerstyle blues lick on tap for you today. It's named 2-pad stack because that's one of the coolest moves you can do as a hockey goalie. And this lick happens to be, well, super cool. And you might be thinking, okay, what's this whole Tuesday TAC guitar lick thing? I'm new here, what's going on? Well, each day within Tony's Acoustic Challenge is dedicated to one of the 5 essential categories of guitar improvement. Monday, we do a technique challenge. Tuesday, a guitar lick challenge. Wednesday, an improvisation challenge. Thursday, a rhythm guitar challenge. And Friday, a chord transition challenge. It is Tuesday today. It is Acoustic Tuesday, so I thought to myself, I'll just bring in the Tuesday guitar lick from Tony's Acoustic Challenge and give you a sneak peek at what we're working on. So without further ado, here it is. Your guitar lick challenge for today is entitled 2-pad stack. In my mind, nothing beats a hockey goalie doing a 2-pad stack to stop a puck.
Placed by Felpolo. 2-on-1. Buchanan's short-handed across for a turn. Oh, what a stop! Save of the night by Bishop.
By Carey Price, we're spectacular. This one's better. Wow!
It's quite simply amazing, and it reminds me of old-time hockey. Speaking of hockey, that's the theme within Tony's Acoustic Challenge this week. All of the challenges are named as a tribute to hockey goalies. You've got shutout, you've got puck stopper, glove save and a butte, and of course, 2-pad stack. But there is an underlying musical theme as well, and that is minimalism when playing the blues. Not only minimalism when playing the blues, but using the dead thumb while playing the blues to kind of keep that bass pedaling throughout, to create kind of a drone, if you will. In fact, this week in Tony's Acoustic Challenge is kind of like the gateway to Mississippi Hill Country Blues. We're going to be using a lot of drones this week, and that's one of the signatures of that style. If you've never heard Mississippi Hill Country Blues, you're going to want to check out Jessie Mae Hemphill. It's a great place to start. Okay, here's how today's lick sounds. This lick is not that difficult. It's actually pretty easy to play, but don't let that deceive you. Just because it's easy, just because it's simple, doesn't make it any less powerful. In fact, when you apply this in the correct musical context, it's extremely powerful. And I'm going to show you that today. Now, if you want to learn this note for note, TAC Fam, go ahead and log in, click Start Challenge on your home page, and boom, you'll go right to the teaching video. Once you go through that, you can move to the play along video, pick a speed that suits where you're at currently. Also, don't forget to click on that tab icon in the lower right-hand corner. That'll allow you to pull up the tab in a new window so you can watch the tab and follow right along with me. Okay. This particular lick, yes, it's easy, so what is it good for? Well, you don't always have to machine gun notes everywhere for something to be effective. In fact, oftentimes the more space you integrate, the more potent what you play is. So there are two scenarios that I want to apply this lick to, and the first is just the lick itself as a repeated phrase. It's a wonderful two-measure phrase that you can continue to repeat over an E chord that creates this sense of rhythmic drive. I'm going to go ahead and loop it so you can hear what that sounds like. So that's the lick as a repeated phrase, this riff that contains this rhythmic momentum, especially with that drone kind of pulsing the bass or pedaling the bass. And you might be thinking, okay, well that's cool, it's just the lick repeated, but I'm still not seeing how useful it is. Okay, well let me bring you to the second scenario. This is for when you're playing a 12-bar blues. You can use this as a fill. It's a two-measure fill that adds a ton of depth to just a standard 12-bar blues. Let me go ahead and play through it so you can see it as an example. So as you can see, it really does break up a standard 12-bar blues. It just creates a nice fill and kind of creates some movement within the chord progression. Okay, so I hope you dug this, and I hope that you're able to take this lick and apply it to your own playing and ultimately integrate it so that it becomes, well, yours. Now, before I let you go, I do want to remind you of one thing. Even though this lick is relatively simple, it's still okay to break it down. Maybe this is brand new for you. Breaking things down is okay. Breaking things down is encouraged. I think a lot of times us guitar players can find ourselves in some hot water because we look at something we want to learn and then we look at it as a whole. We never break it down. We just see it as it is, the end product, if you will, and we think that we should be able to pick up the guitar and play the end product right away. That's not the case. I want you to take little bites at a time. Take little steps. You know what that classic phrase, you gotta walk before you run? It's the same idea here. So for example, with something like this, you might just say, okay, I'm gonna get the thumb. I'm just gonna get the thumb and play that nice and steady. So you would just do that. You'd play the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And once you feel comfortable with that, you might say, okay, well, I want to get the lay of the land when it comes to those higher notes, those quote-unquote melody notes. So you would just play those. And just get comfortable fretting those. And then maybe the pinching two strings at once is a new technique for you. If that's the case, then just practice those on the high E string. So even with a lick that's this simple, that seems this easy, there are so many different chunks you can break it down into so that you get it and you can get the most benefit out of it. So we have a technique chunk, we have the actual notes, the melody, we have the rhythm. There are so many pieces. So I want to encourage you, when you're learning something new, be it this lick or something else in your guitar journey, go ahead and break it down to the smallest pieces that, well, work for you. We're talking about guitar routine interruptions today, and TAC family member Dirk just overcame an enormous interruption in his guitar routine. See, prior to this interruption, Dirk had a solid routine, and he was progressing regularly. But then a family vacation happened, and, well, here's what happened in Dirk's own words.
Well, I went on a 5-week family vacation, and I intended on. I took my truck. We have to take the ferry to Bellingham, and then I got on the road. And my intention was to buy a guitar. I didn't bring one of my guitars with me because I was going to buy one, so I could play it occasionally. And I was never able to complete that. So so anyway, I went 5 weeks without playing guitar at all, and I was worried about losing my calluses and everything. When I got back to town, to my home after the 5 weeks, I was concerned about getting back in. And I'll tell you, the thought went through, well, maybe I'll just bag this thing, you know. But I didn't. About 3 days into home, I just got back into doing the signing in to TAC and doing the dailies. And within, I mean, the same day I made that decision to get right back into it, I was right back into the routine, and my calluses came back very quickly. And yeah, and now I'm back into the groove, and I'm doing these 3 VOMs, 3 or 4 VOMs a week, depending on how many, and I'm right back into the swing of things.
I love this insight into Dirk's guitar journey because he had, I got my stats here, he had 5 weeks off. Things didn't go as planned, and he came back and said, I'm just going to bag this whole guitar playing thing. But he took a small step forward and just signed into Tony's Acoustic Challenge, did the daily challenge, and boom, that pulled him right back into his guitar routine. And it saved him from giving up on guitar. That is huge, and I really appreciate Dirk sharing that with all of us. He had a chance to share that on the most recent Tony's Acoustic Challenge 90-day progress party. And for you TAC members who want to attend the next one, go ahead and mark your calendars for Wednesday, January 5th at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. That is when the next Tony's Acoustic Challenge live 90-day progress party takes place. I hope you're ready to hop on the Acoustic Tuesday private jet, but I do have to warn you, this is going to be a long flight. Probably one of the longest flights we've ever done because we're headed to Australia. Specifically, Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. We're going to be visiting guitar geek Dave DeProse and checking out his Guitarsenal. Here's what's in it. The top row, left to right. A Recording King Resophonic mandolin, a Ray Black Custom F2 mandolin. In the middle row, left to right, a 2007 National Resophonic Tricone Replicon Style 1, tuned to open D, a 1931 National Duolian tuned to open D, a 2013 National Resophonic Polychrome Triolean, a 1979 Martin D1220 with Dalmatian pickguard, and in the bottom row, left to right, we have a Recording King Square Neck Dobro, a 2015 Martin D18 Authentic 1939, a 2015 Martin a 2015 Martin 0018 Authentic 1931, a 2012 Martin D18 Authentic 1937, and a 2015 Martin D28 Authentic 1937. Holy smokes, Dave. Between the resonators and that lineup of Martin Authentic Series guitars, I am smitten with your Guitarsenal. That is a damn fine Guitarsenal, and I certainly appreciate you sharing it with us. Now, if you're sitting at home thinking, well, I want to share my Guitarsenal, I want to be featured on the Acoustic Tuesday show, well, let me introduce you to my lovely assistant, Tonetta. Here he is. I want to propose to you a win-win-win scenario. I want to feature you on the Acoustic Tuesday show. Yes, I want to feature you and your Guitarsenal, or you and your Acoustic Tuesday merchandise. Step number 1, go to tonypolicastro.com/shop. Once you're there, pick out your favorite Guitarsenal shirt, your favorite Acoustic Tuesday merchandise, get it shipped directly to your door. Step number 2, once your merchandise arrives, go ahead and put it on and take a picture of yourself, either just wearing Acoustic Tuesday merchandise, or if you have a Guitarsenal shirt, take a picture in front of all of your guitars. And then once you're done with that, step number 3 is to upload your picture at tonypolicastro.com/shop. There's a link right on that page. Click it, you can upload your photo, and boom, you'll be featured in the Acoustic Tuesday show. Win number 1, you get featured in the Acoustic Tuesday show. Win number 2, you get some cool, snazzy Guitar Geek merchandise. Win number 3, the biggest win of them all proceeds from the tonypolicastro.com/shop are being donated to Guitars for Vets. You get featured in the show, you get cool new shirts, cool new merchandise, and you help out Guitars for Vets. Win, win, win. Okay, back to the show. It's time for acoustic news you can use. And before we get into my news list for today, I do want to remind you that Veterans Day is coming up on the 11th. So please don't forget to support Guitars for Vets. And you can do that in a number of different ways. Of course, you can get some merchandise from tonypolicastro.com/shop. All the proceeds from that merch store go to Guitars for Vets. You can donate directly to Guitars for Vets on their website, guitars4vets.org, or you can simply spread the word about the amazing program. And if you have some time, you can always volunteer your time to them as well. Okay, on with the news. First up on my list is, well, Guitar Geek Legos. Yes, Lego just released a Lego building set of a Fender Stratocaster. I hope I'm saying this right. Yeah, it's a Lego Fender Strat. It's part of the Lego Ideas series, and it's literally a red Fender Strat and an amp. It's really cool, as you can see in this video. It's Legos and guitar, two of my favorite things in the world. I mean, it doesn't get much more geeky than that. Plus, the holidays are coming up, so if you have a Guitar Geek that you're buying for on your list, this might be the exact thing that you need to get them. Okay, next up on my list is the artist Nora Brown. Fantastic old-time banjo player. So many people have been telling me, you gotta check out Nora Brown, you gotta check out Nora Brown. I featured her on a past Acoustic Tuesday show, but it turns out she just released a brand new EP entitled Sidetrack My Engine. And if you haven't heard Nora Brown, you simply have to. She is quite amazing. She's a young, old-time banjo player, and here she is playing the song Frankie and Albert, which she recorded for her new album.
Frankie went a-walking, didn't go for fun. Oh, underneath her little red coat, she had 41. It was her man, but he done her wrong.
If you've been watching the Acoustic Tuesday show for any amount of time, you likely know that I am infatuated with skulls. So when I saw this next video, my heart skipped a beat. Well, first it skipped a beat because it's a Michael Watts video, and he's an amazing guitar player and an amazing guitar geek. And it also features Irvin Samaji, an amazing modern acoustic guitar builder, who just so happened to incorporate a skull on a guitar that he built. And this skull that he carved in the neck has real human teeth. You gotta check out this quick clip of the interview.
There's one instrument in particular that featured a skull and, unless I'm very much mistaken, actual human teeth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not the sort of thing you'd see in the Martin factory, is it?
No.
What was going on there? What was the thought process?
You know, the candid truth is, I just felt like doing it. I can't explain.
I can't argue with that.
In trying to sound intelligent about it, I can say things like, well, you know, other cultures participate or partake of celebrating the dead, those who have passed on, who have been here before. We acknowledge them.
Cultures like Mexico,
the Day of the Dead in the Latin countries.
Yeah.
In the United States, that's verboten. I mean, you just, you know, youth, energy, vigor, progress, move forward, but no attention really paid to the processes of life at the end stages. And they've all been here, those people. They've all eaten and drunk and laughed and built buildings and driven cars and raised kids, and it just seems like it's a lack. And I can talk to that, but I don't think I was thinking about that when I built that guitar. I just wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to share with you some things that I found on Instagram. We can call them rapid fire news nuggets. This first one comes from Casimi Guitars, C-A-S-I-M-I Guitars, and they just did a Leaping Jaguar sound port. You've got brass, you've got koa, you've got pearl, you've got ebony, and they all come together to create this wonderfully beautiful decorative sound port. I've never seen anything like this, and I wanted to share it with you. Next up on the Rapid Fire News Nugget segment is a John Lee Hooker graphic novel brought to you by Z2 Comics. I just discovered this and I thought it was super cool. They're taking pre-orders right now, and I believe it will start shipping on in March of 2022. And essentially, it's called John Lee Hooker, one bourbon, one scotch, one beer, and it's 3 different tales from John Lee Hooker's life. I don't know a ton of details about this because it is a pre-order, but it looks cool and I wanted to share it with you. Next up on the Rapid Fire News Nugget list is something that I saw Bob Minner post. That name should ring a bell because I've featured him quite a few times on the show. He's an amazing musician, an amazing flat picker, and it turns out he's a rebel without a capo. Courtesy of, I believe his wife photoshopped that. Pretty funny. It had me laughing. I wanted to share it with you. Now, also, I should mention that Calton Cases just launched a new laptop case. And you might be thinking to yourself, I'm a guitar geek. What do I care about a laptop case? Well, for some guitar geeks, their laptop is an essential part of their rig. It's an essential part of their guitar gear, whether you record into it or whether you use it during performance. So what better way to keep your laptop protected in style with a Calton laptop case? Super cool, and I actually have to reach out to those folks because I think I want to get myself one of those. Okay, next up is my final news nugget for today, and it's a small video that I wanted to share with you. You know, we've been talking about the holidays, and one of the things that comes along with the holidays is, unfortunately, some holiday weight gain. And it turns out John 5, he's been hitting the sugar cookies pretty hard already because he was at home playing, and well, just check out the video. I thought that was pretty funny, and then in my head I was dreaming up, I'm like, how are we gonna come out from that and go into the end of the show? And I was thinking, well, on those slightly swollen notes, and then I thought to myself, that's a funny band name, The Slightly Swollen Notes. To the best of my knowledge, nobody's used that yet, so if you wanna use it for your band, just go ahead and use it with caution. I think the band name is open. Anyways, on those sweet, sweet notes, let's go ahead and wrap up the Acoustic Tuesday show for today. But let's take a sneak peek into next week. And speaking of Instagram, next week is dedicated to, well, Instagram. In fact, I'm going to be featuring my 10 must-follow luthier profiles on Instagram. That's all happening next week on the Acoustic Tuesday show. And remember, you can catch Acoustic Tuesday, well, every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time right here on YouTube. And right before you go, I do want to remind you of one thing. Your guitar success, however you define it, is directly related to your guitar routine. So please invest the time in developing your guitar routine and make sure to have fun every day that you play. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for sharing your time with me, and thank you for being a guitar geek. And I'll see you next Tuesday on the Acoustic Tuesday show. Cheers to you, and Guitar Geeks Unite.